Hey, lovelies. We are streaming all over Facebook and LinkedIn, Helen. Oh, and also YouTube by the looks of it. So we're going everywhere.
Exciting.
Some bang for our buck. So those of you that are just joining, I'm just collecting the link so I can send the other people that haven't joined yet a message. Just need to wait for Facebook to show it to me. I've got it. Bear with me. And then I will introduce the fabulous Helen Tudor. So I'm just going to copy that. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. You know I do this.
It's Joe Simpson. Hello.
Hey, Joe.
It's Stephanie. Hi. Good morning. Oh, no, good afternoon now. That's gone quick.
Awesome. Right. So I'm sending the message, Helen. So we should have some more people. Oh, hang on. No, that didn't go. Why didn't that go?
Chaos.
Chaos. Absolute chaos. As usual with me. As I said before we went live, they are used to me.
Yeah.
Right. There we go. It's gone. So we should have more wonderful people joining us. There we go. I'll get rid of Facebook. There we go. So hello, lovelies. I've been so excited for this, Helen. This will make you laugh. But I told everyone it was yesterday.
You were so excited. You prematurely announced it.
I did. So we're here on time, which is awesome. We're not early, which is fantastic. Hey, lovelies, great to see you. So I have known Helen. I've known Helen longer than she's known me. I've known Helen must be getting on for 3 or 4 years now. And I do this thing where I stand at the back where no one can see me. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I need you in my life and in my business. And it was kind of like that, wasn't it, Helen?
Yeah, it was suddenly like, here you are. Well, I've known you for the same amount of time, though.
Had you? I love that.
Boot camp, and I know you through just being on the scene. So I was very excited when you reached out and wanted to come and work with me. Honoured.
See, that's isn't that funny? Because my perception was you didn't know me, and I remember when I first met you, I went, "Hi, I'm Eloise," and you went, "I know who you are."
Hi, come into my house.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's so strange, but I've watched you grow and evolve your business and you as a person as well, and it's been a journey, but also really inspiring. And when I was doing consulting in quality assurance, I used to use all of your methods on LinkedIn, and I used to smash it. Like I'd put a post out, "Hey, lovelies," I'd put a post out, and I'd fill my courses. And then when I decided to be brave and go all in on Money Alchemy, I ran away from LinkedIn. Yeah. I ran away. And you kept saying, there is a place on LinkedIn for spiritual entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe you. I was like, you're talking crap. But then you ran a webinar, and I think I joined straight off the back of that, so it was amazing. But anyway, before I give all the game away, do you want to introduce yourself, say what you do, tell us your story? Because I know many of my audience will really resonate with your story. So over to you.
Amazing. So I'm Helen Tudor, formerly known as Helen Pritchard. So a lot of people know me, and a lot of my branding is still Helen Pritchard. I'm still in the process of moving it all around. I may never. So I may almost always forever have to announce myself as Helen Tudor as well as Pritchard. But what is my story, Louise? Let me tell you my money story, right? Because that's what we're here to talk about. So when I was a single mum, my marriage broke down in 2010 as a single mum. I was in about 90 grand worth of personal debt when I left that relationship. Nearly got my house repossessed. I'm very lucky my uncle came and swooped in and saved the day, bought the house and rented it back to me. And I had terrible money mindset, whatever you want to call it. I didn't even know what that meant at that time, right? I was just like fully embedded in my victim mode. Life's really hard. I hate money. Money hates me. I'm broke. I'm a single mum. I dug deep into those identities, right? I was a reflexologist. I was sort of doing money for hours, 40 quid an hour, still got good money really I still priced quite high, but I was doing 40 quid an hour. I'd go and do reflexology. I'd get that 40 quid. Then I'd obviously put some aside for my tax. And then I would go and put petrol in the car. I'd be like £5 in the car, £15 in the shop, right? Food, packed lunches, that stuff. It was literally like, I remember I used to see this couple and I'd do him and her, sounds more exciting than it was, and then I'd get £80. And that was like, ooh, now I can do a big shop. Now I can put more petrol in the car. And I always say, like, my whole money journeys, the pinnacle of my money journey really was the first time I put the petrol nozzle-y thing in my car. And I was just like this, just thinking about something else. And I just realized, like, I wasn't watching it click up to make sure it didn't stop dead on £5.
Yeah.
That would do me for the next couple of days, right? And I just remember thinking, whoa, I didn't even know it made it click when it got to the top. So now I filled my car up, It was really weird. And even now, I drive a absolutely battered 15-year-old Ford Fiesta. I have driven, top of the range Porsches and everything in between. But anyway, I drive my little green machine at the moment and I love it. And it cost me 50 quid a week to fill it up, 50 quid a month to fill it up.
Yeah.
Put it in, and even now I'm like, look, I don't need to look, and I feel like a champion coming out of that petrol station every time. Anyway, so I was looking at the space, and then I just had that moment, and it was the moment where, if you've seen my stuff, you'll have heard this story, but it was the moment where I was in the shop. Sheila was serving me, still serves to me to this day in my local co-op. I've lived in my village my whole life, so a lot of people around there have seen me go on that journey as well, and I'd not added up this shop properly. So I had the kids with me, and I was like rushing, and I remember it was raining, and I was wet, and the kids were wet, and everyone was tired, and I was just running out the car and just getting the stuff, got all flustered, I suffered a lot more now. Still won't say I'm completely, anyway, with anxiety. So I've got my anxiety going, I've got my panic attack building. I'm like, oh, I've got to go and queue up and all the rest of it. Just in a really horrible place mentally, financially. I had a very bad haircut. I had a mum bob, deep in the mum zone.
Yeah, I know it well.
So yeah, it was really frumpy and just didn't know how to dress, didn't know how to I wouldn't say I'm particularly stylish now, but you know what I mean? I was just like, ugh, I'm skint, I'm fed up, it's raining, just having a bad time. And I used to go around and add up as I was going, and I obviously miscalculated, math's not the strong point. And I got to the till, and Sheila said, £28 or something, or £22 something. And I was like, I'm going to get £20 note.
Oh.
No money in the banks, no access to credit. It had I'll always bank with the co-op bank, because they're the only bank that would give me a bank account. After I'd had my come to Jesus moment with the debt, and I'd rang everyone up and was like, this is going to be a problem. And I remember she was like, well, it's okay, we can just put some stuff back. And I was like, bright red, kids are kicking off because I'm putting back sweets rather than keeping the food. And I was like, anyway, so I just remember going and sitting in the car, raining. The car my dad had to buy me because my ex-husband had took the car, and my dad had to take and buy me a car. So I'm sat in the car, my dad's bought me, pouring down the rain, 2 kids screaming, just thinking, I'm done. I am done. That's it for me. I am not okay with this. I was just this is not okay.
It's been a goosebumps, that.
Yeah, because I just remember thinking, nobody's coming to save me. I know that I've got a lovely family, I know I've got a half decent business, I've got people who will save me, like I said at the beginning, but nobody truly, as a 30-odd-year-old mum or two, is coming to save me. I've got to get out of this. I've got to do something now. I haven't got the time to wait. I haven't got, and the reason why I love LinkedIn so much, and I talk about it so obsessively, and I've never not taught this. I've never thought, I'm not bored of being a LinkedIn woman now. I'm going to go do something else. Because LinkedIn has saved me that day. It was like my knight in shining armor. I went home and I was like, right, I can't do reflexology because I can't leave the kids. I can't do it at night. And I was like, I've got to do something else. What do I love? Well, I love doing social media. That's what I do for my reflexology business. That's why people come to me. People come to me, Facebook and Twitter. I'm going to do this for other people. That's what I'm going to do. And this is all stuff I teach, very clear in my head. I remember thinking, right, I need to earn, if I could earn £2,500 a month, my whole life would be transformed.
Yeah.
Everything would change.
Yeah.
And I remember really writing that number down and feeling into that, thinking, that feels, like I noticed you talk about this the other day, that sometimes when we write massive money goals, our brains just like freak out.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, get that. But I remember thinking, I feel like that's a possible goal, but a massive stretch. I remember writing £2,500. So if I charge £250 a month, this is how bad my money mindset was, £250 a month, and I get 10 clients, that's £2,500 a month, and I'll just do Facebook and Twitter for them, because that's what I was doing. And LinkedIn, I was like, well, what am I going to do? Because I can't pay to go to networking, because 15 quid to go to a breakfast when I've got to get someone to look after the kids and pay for the food and get there and all the rest of it, and then stand up and talk in front of people. I was like,
yeah, with anxiety.
I'm not down for that logistically, financially, emotionally. Like, not doing that, which is quite weird now, because obviously I speak on stages like all over the world, right? It's quite weird. But anyway, so I was like, not doing that. I can't pay for any advertising, I don't have any money. So what is this? And I must have, and I sort of remember, I wish in a way I was like paying more attention, but I'm just like, I'm starved, I'm wet, I'm tired, get on my laptop, like 100 years old. And I'm like, networking online, business networking. How can I do this without leaving the house, you know? And LinkedIn popped up, obviously. And I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And the way that I set up my profile, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to write this for my ideal client. So I'm going to talk to my ideal client. I'm going to have this bit here. I can change this so it doesn't say my job title, which is now the headline. I was like, oh yeah, so here I can put what I want my ideal clients to see. So helping local business owners in Warrington, sell more, look better online using Facebook and Twitter, £250 a month, 10 spaces available. Mm-hmm. That would be the thing that I would say to somebody if I met them, right? So, so that was my headline. And my profile, I was like, I've got all this big space. Okay, I'm going to write to them. What should I say to them? So when they come and look at it, I was like, are you a business owner in Warrington? Do you feel frustrated that everyone else is doing social media, but you don't understand it? Don't forget, this was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if not more. You know, are you frustrated that everyone else seems to know what they're doing, but you don't? Do you know there's opportunities on social media, but you don't know how to get to them? Would you like somebody to manage it all for you so you don't have to think about it? I can help you. If so, I can help. I'm a single mom. I live in Warrington. I'm a business owner like you. I've built my business using social media. I'd like to do the same for you. I've got 10 spaces available. I charge £250 a month. I do 3 posts a week, Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like a spot, send me a message. So I was like, yeah, that's what I would say to them pretty much straight up if I could speak to them.
Yeah, and I love that because that's so different to the CV writing approach on LinkedIn.
Well, I didn't know. This is what I would say. Like, I've never been trained on how to use LinkedIn. I've never read a book on how to use LinkedIn. I've never Googled it or looked at YouTube, right? So I just literally made it up as I was going.
Yeah.
And it was really different. I soon realised that was a totally different way of using it, but I didn't realise at the time. And then I went and searched for Managing Director, Warrington. And all these people came up. So I was like, oh, brilliant, let's add them all. And I literally, I remember, like, don't mind personalised note. In those days, you could add as many as you wanted. So adding. And then, yeah, and that was it. And then people were messaging me like, hi, Helen. Oh, yeah, thanks for the connection request. Looks great, 250 quid. I mean, now I'm like, of course they're like, yeah, looks great. It's an absolute bargain, right? And I got my clients and I worked from home and I had a really simple business. Some days I hark back to it, you know, just like really simple, low tech.
Those were the days.
Yeah, those were the days. And, you know, I started making decent money. I think I made about 50 something grand in that first year. And I remember sitting on the stairs and opening the thing from the accountant, which I'd always do posh, you know, my dad's accountant, you know, because you don't know where to go to your dad's accountant. And it's really posh, came in a folder. And it said, you know, gross profit, blah, 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 net profit, like 56k or something. And I was just wondering, hell, I'd only ever earned 20 grand in a job, you know.
Yeah.
It was like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Then I was just like, oh, this is great. And all my clients came from LinkedIn. So so I built that up to a digital agency over time, like you do, you know, built it up to an agency, did Facebook ads when that came out, did employer branding when that was like super hot. And built up a really successful business. But I hated it, but that's really not the point. But all of those new clients, so I was working with big clients then, like Eddie Stobarts and XP Logistics and like Lakeland Plastics, big brands. They were still coming to me on LinkedIn to change my headline. So it's like helping HR directors hire better people faster using Facebook ads, $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
So I did the same thing. I was like, we do this, we charge. Oh my God, a bird fell into the thing.
Oh no! You always have bird and squirrels.
It's always an incident.
You have so many wildlife incidents in that office.
No.
Helen's in a beautiful building at the end of her garden.
Text my dad while he's in.
Yeah. And there always seems to be squirrels and cats and birds and things happening, doesn't there?
There is a lot of nature going on, which I thought would be nice, but actually is super. It's not dead, but it doesn't look very well. Hold on. Hold on. A bird flew in through my window. Please come.
It might just be a bit dazed. It might get up and fly away. They do fly into windows, don't they? Crazily. They can't see them.
Anyway, so I looks a bit dazed. I think it's going to be all right. So I built this agency. So my model's always been very simple: one offer, one price, one type of client. Which again, something that I teach. And then LinkedIn's always just delivered me those clients. So it's only when I met somebody and he was like, "How do you get all these clients?" And I told him, and he was like, "That's not how you use LinkedIn." I was like, "No, it really is. That's how I've been using LinkedIn for years."
How do you do it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I did it on the back of a napkin, and he took it away, and he came back to me and said, "This is amazing. Like, I got a lead and it worked really well, and you should teach this." And I can't remember who it was, but I definitely need to buy him a pint.
Yeah.
Because I did go on to start teaching it, yeah. So I've been teaching it for the last 6 years. I've got a program called the LinkedIn Mastermind. I've sold £2.5 million worth of that product alone.
Yeah.
I don't check the petrol pumps anymore. And on a journey of like going from being really skint to super wealthy in my own little way. Making £2.5 million isn't like having £2.5 million. I'm sure everyone understands that, but it's been an amazing journey to even get to that kind of revenue. And what I've learned is that every time you go up a level, you gotta do all the work again. You gotta get really comfortable with the work. And obviously, I know, Eloise, you teach the work, which is great, which is why we love each other so much, right? Because I can talk about the work and you get it. Like, literally, apart from the bird that's just having a recovery, on this side of my office is my money altar and all of my money stuff. And I still manifest money in exactly the same way I always have. You know, this is my magical check. Yeah. I love that Eloise's work is giving me practical things to do, not just esoteric things to do, right? So as well as doing like the decluttering and stuff like that, I've got my check for my launch, I've got all of this stuff, I've got my orange oil, got all this jazz. But for me, what I've learned about teaching thousands of people how to get leads from LinkedIn over the years is that there is a place for everybody on LinkedIn. So when I first started getting leads, I thought maybe it's just me. So when I started teaching it, I was doing like one-to-one sessions. I was like, oh no, it's working for everyone. And the feedback I was getting was incredible, and then I did it as a group program, and it worked for those people. So it's like, what I've realized is that the biggest fear that people have about LinkedIn is either they're not going to be able to find ideal clients on there, or they are going to be in some way in the wrong place. Like, it's not for me. Like, this is not the place for me. It's the old me. It's the old version of me. It's the corporate me. It's the me that had a job. And the fear of putting ourselves out on LinkedIn is that all these dark, mysterious, suited people who are in the real world of, employment are suddenly going to come at us in some way and cause us a problem for daring to show up and be our super magical spiritual self on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and that was definitely my big fear, because you see it, don't you? You see the LinkedIn police, and they're like, "This isn't Facebook," and I think like the way that you teach LinkedIn, you are only selecting people for your network who would get what you're doing anyway. And what I love is when I did go out on LinkedIn again, feeling brave, I actually did attract a C-suite female corporate type into my work because, of course, you and I have had jobs, right? And we're spiritual. So why wouldn't any other people
Yeah.
be spiritual? And like, they love things like Reiki, reflexology, that, all these things that are considered like woo-woo. People that have normal jobs do like that stuff as well. I really forgot that.
Yeah, not everybody is fully in the spiritual world. Most people have got a foot in each camp, right? So the thing is with my stuff as well, because we're not DMing people. So the thing that makes mine probably different, and well, there's a lot of things, but one of the ways that the things that I teach is we don't send direct messages to people.
Yeah.
So it would be, because it would be borderline insane to start DMing every finance director you found on LinkedIn and asking them if they're into tarot cards, right?
Yeah.
Or asking them if they're in, because people would be like, no, stop messaging me. 1 in 1,000 might go, whoa, that's really weird. Yeah, I am. But instead, because we put ourselves out there publicly, so we grow our audience, but we don't message them, we don't send them any messages, we don't ask them to buy anything from us. But then we put out the content. When we put the content out, we shine our light, literally, as light workers. You put your content out, you shine your light. Then the right people who are in that audience are drawn to you. Like, they're literally drawn to you like a moth to the flame. They're like, whoa, there's somebody who's on LinkedIn. So think about it, you ideal client. The bird is on its feet.
Good.
It does a recovery before. I'm sending it some Reiki while I'm talking. I'm like,
yeah.
Please before a cat notices that you've hit the wall. But it's about bringing people to you. So you think about your ideal client. So let's say we go to my world. We create ideal client avatars. So she's Sarah. She's 46. She's perimenopausal. She's got teenage kids. She hates her life. She hates her job. But she's on LinkedIn because she works in HR and she's got to find somebody for this job. Otherwise, she's going to get fired, right? Mm. She's not in. She's just. She's not on LinkedIn looking for spiritual alignment. Right? She's on LinkedIn looking for somebody to fill a job, right? Mm. Everyone's on there to find somebody for a job, or to post about how great their company is, or to talk about the award they've just won, or to look for a supplier for something really boring, So that's what people are on LinkedIn. That's what they're actually on LinkedIn. Yeah. So we've got Sarah, and she's like, I hate my life, I hate my job, just scrolling through. And then she sees a post from somebody saying, I help, senior women work out what's next using online tarot card readings, for example. Yeah. So then she's like, oh, I'm a senior woman and I need to know what's next. And I love cards. I've not had one card reading for ages. Yeah. The last place I expected to see somebody, well, this is really cool. And it says, send me a message. So she just sends a message. Right? Yeah. Hi, Debbie. I saw you post. I'd love a reading. Yeah. Let me know how we get it set up. And you got a client, right? Not only got a client, but you got a client who's come to you, who's earning 100 grand a year, so they're happy to pay, and who's used to doing business with people. She's like, yeah, I need to find somebody for this job. I need to find a supplier for this thing. And yeah, I'm gonna give Debbie that 100 quid for a reading next week. She is not your, careful what I say here, but she's not your like Facebook group freebie hunter lurker type who's like, I just want to get a free card pull. Do you know what I mean? Like different levels, Yeah. Our Sarah's not hanging around in Facebook groups. No. I'm not saying you can't get business out of Facebook groups. You can, I do, and you will. But I'm saying it's a different energy. These are people who are used to doing business. They're people who are used to making decisions. They're people who are used to spending, $1 grand on a handbag. So what we can do is we can create really solid content and be really confident in the way that we put it out, or not confident, doesn't really matter, as long as you put it out, but build an audience of Sarah's and then let them come to us when we're ready. And that's such a good point. If you show them what problem you solve and they've got that problem, the sale is so much easier, isn't it? You don't have to convince them, or, they're just like, you've got what I want, I'm going to have that. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. So I quite often start my talks with I'm not a LinkedIn trainer. I'm not even a LinkedIn expert. And I'm not somebody who's only ever sold LinkedIn training on LinkedIn. I'm a business owner who's generating leads on LinkedIn for for 10 years before I started teaching it. Like, and I know that no matter what you're selling, because I've sold lots of different things on LinkedIn, when somebody comes to you, because they've seen your content, they've been connected a while, they've maybe watched a video, or they are like so ready to buy. You never have to overcome any objections because they've overcome them themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't have messaged you.
Yeah.
The other way of doing LinkedIn, which does work, is we send out hundreds of messages, right? Everyone we connect with, we ask them how they are, we ask them how their day is, what their frustrations are, what's going on, can you help with any way, blah, 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 blah. Do you know how much time that takes?
I know, I was thinking, we
don't
do that in your world, do we?
That's only for people who've got a lot of time and who love rejection, because most people are going to ignore you, some people will give you abuse, and some people will just block you and never want to work with you. Now, out of every 100 messages, 100 relationships, 100 conversations, and all the rest of the stuff, then one person might say, yeah, go on, I'll have a reading. But look at the effort you've had to put in to get there. Instead, you're patient, you sit back, you wait, they come to you when you're ready, and you don't have to go through all of that horrible process.
And also, like, I was just thinking then about the example of the corporate HR woman, like, she will have people in her team and in her peer group who she also knows are a little bit interested, maybe mentions it at work.
Yes.
And then you get more clients. It's like the power of networking, that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And people make a lot of assumptions about people they don't know. Someone says to me, like, my ideal client wouldn't buy from me. Like, they're not on LinkedIn, or they're not, it's like, but who do you know how do you know who all these 650 million people are and who they are and what they do? So dead common one I get is like, oh, it's only for B2B. This doesn't work if you're selling to end users. And I was like, 650 million people on LinkedIn who've all got houses and families, they all buy cars, they all get divorced, they all want to lose 10 pounds, they all going through menopause, they all want some new shoes, they all want to buy nice jewelry, they've all got birthdays and Christmases and anniversaries coming up. It's like, it blows my mind that somebody would just look at LinkedIn and think, oh, that's just selling to businesses. It's like, but because everyone thinks like that, that's the opportunity.
Exactly. It's the best kept secret. So if you're not on LinkedIn talking about your business, you're missing out on the opportunity of a lifetime, because the stuff that we talk about stands out because there's so few people actually doing it. So it looks like there's no other options.
Yes, exactly. So
captive audience.
I never use LinkedIn as a holistic therapist, but I wish I had. Better clients who paid me better, and I would have got famous faster, because there's no holistic therapists on LinkedIn really promoting themselves in my hometown that I've ever seen anywhere.
No.
Maybe. No. And I'm an avid buyer of holistic therapy.
Yeah.
I love holistic therapy. I've got to go and posting on Facebook. Like, I posted yesterday, I was like, where can I go and get this kind of massage spa from, right? If somebody was in my feed saying, helping female entrepreneurs feel amazing, relax, switch off, therefore make more money and have a great time, and blah, 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 and be a nicer parent, whatever, I'd be like all over that.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, yes, that is what I want. Please let me see it. And I buy loads of things. And that's the other thing. People say, oh, single mums haven't got any money. I was like, I was earning £1 million a year as a single mum. What do you mean single mums haven't got a year? And so it's almost like, just check yourself when it comes to your assumptions about LinkedIn, your ideal client, and all that kind of stuff.
And whether or not they can afford you. So I'm literally always blown away by the people that buy from me, because I know a bit of their background and I think, oh, it's not the time for them yet. And they're the ones that step up and buy. Like, we need to get out of people's purses, as my coach Kendall Summerhawk says, like, stop thinking you know what those people can afford, because actually it's a matter of priorities a lot of time. People it's a big thing, isn't it? It's a big thing. We do get in our purses.
I was on LinkedIn when I was broke, and I was on LinkedIn when I had plenty of money. So I was still the same, I'm still the same person. So I think the thing with LinkedIn, then, when it comes to, so we talk a lot in the business about selling to broke people, and because I was broke, I attract a lot of broke people. Because this is a trauma-based business that I use to get myself away from trauma. I'm forever trying to parachute back and help people from 10 years ago me, who are absolutely broke. And that is a cross I've got to bear, and that's fine. And I can help them, which is why I do so much free content. That's why I spend so much time doing free content. For me, it's either you get free or you pay a significant amount. There's no real in-betweeners. because I want to help those people for free. And obviously the people who invest in working with me, they fund the business so I can help more people for free. But it's really hard selling to broke people all the time. It's not something I would recommend, because people need a lot of nurturing. 5 years, people will take my free content. I do the £2,000 in 2 weeks thing, and people take it and they make a couple of grand, and they fall madly in love with me, and I change their life, and that's great. And that's my hill that I'm dying on, and that's my choice. I've been told a million times I need to start focusing on the high end, looking at 6-7 figure business. But I tried that, and it's like, I like it now. I like it. It's fine. These are my people, right? But there's also people in my world who will happily drop £5,000 on working with me without a second thought. They're like, that's a bargain. Why is it so cheap? And it's like, yeah, let's work together and do this. So it's really interesting. But LinkedIn's the only place where you can guarantee. No, you can't guarantee, but you've got a best guess when you search for a certain level of person. They've got a certain amount of money coming in.
Yeah.
So when someone says to me, but I help people lose £10, how can I look for people who want to lose £10, right? Or how can I find people who want to get divorced? Or how can I find people who want to get a haircut, right? So you don't know what's going on in people's hearts and minds. But what you can do is you can build an audience of director level people very easily. HR director, finance director, operations director, management director. Because that's the kind of, this is in the UK anyway. Obviously in America you've got different letters and VPs and CEOs and whatever. But you can build an audience of 30,000 high earners. So I'd say most people in the UK who are at director level are probably earning between 30 and 300 grand a year.
Yeah.
They've got money coming in. We don't know what they do with that money. They might have a huge gambling problem. I don't know. They might have 7 wives. I don't know. But you can build an audience of high earning people and then pitch to those people. Makes sense. You can say helping high achievers in finance, XYZ, right? Or, helping senior leaders get the thing that you help them with. So whether you're a hypnotherapist or you do voodoo or you do, shamanic retreats or whatever it might be, but if you pitch it to those type of people, it will really resonate, and you can talk about their particular sets of problems. Cash rich, time poor, want to have more time with their families, but they've got a really busy job, high achievers. So it's how can you fit what you do in with those types of people? And LinkedIn's the only place where you can search that by job title.
In your world, you know me, I love wonder. I'm just wondrous at everything. I love seeing in your world how people go and they follow your pattern, they follow your process. And this thing that I always say, that money comes in unexpected ways. They often find that maybe they're advertising hypnotherapy, for example. Yay, look at that. That was not rehearsed, by the way, people.
No.
Like they do one thing, and then all of a sudden they also get opportunities to work in corporate where they never thought that. Maybe they're a hypnotherapist or someone who does Reiki or something like that, and someone works with them or sees them, and that company is having a well-being event, and then they do corporate work. And I love that, the way it just swings around in different ways. It's really exciting to see.
Yes, I heard about, I don't think I exposed myself, but I heard about a psychic medium who was paid 100 grand a year, it might be $100,000, to go and sit in board meetings as a kind of, assistant, member of staff, whatever, PA, and actually read the room.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
The room, who's there, what are their intentions, what are spirits saying, what are the guides saying. And I was like, yes. So every time I see someone who's like, I'm a spiritual medium and I just, I charge 30 quid an hour and that's what everyone charges, and I no way I can break out of that. It's like, you can't. One client paying for that. And then, you get famous for that. It's like your skills are the same, but you're doing it in a way that really makes difference to the business owners. And for the person who's just said, wow, I could do that, I obviously can't see your name because it says Facebook user. Why can't you do that now? Why can't you position yourself as that now? If you're an excellent psychic medium and you're confident you can do that, do it on LinkedIn. You don't have to do it everywhere. You don't have to suddenly make a big announcement, go out the front of your house and say, I only work with companies, corporate boardrooms. But what if you just position yourself as that on LinkedIn alone? Helping mergers and acquisitions on a spiritual, energetic level,
I think that I find as more and more people, especially men, as more and more men are talking about spirituality, that does seem to be brought more into the corporate. Obviously, us women have been talking about it for centuries.
But more of us in the boardrooms as well now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the boardrooms are more open to these different ways of using skills and different people to create different connections and different directions in their business. And I love it.
They're looking for the magic. They're looking for the secret weapon, and that could be you. Yeah, definitely. Corporate is not something over there that you can't get involved in. They're just companies with just people in them. That's what a company is. It's a group of people. So they're just people, and there'll be spiritual people, and everyone's looking for this big shifts happening energetically. So you could be like the first person they've ever heard of that does this. Well, why not? Charge whatever you want. You are a unicorn of one, right? So I just think that's just thinking differently and just being open to those opportunities are massive. And the more time you spend on LinkedIn, the more those opportunities appear.
Yeah.
Because the more you can go down some amazing rabbit holes on LinkedIn. Because every major organization is on there.
Yeah.
You can go and see who works there, you can see what people do, like all the this just blows my mind. This is why I'm still so passionate and so fresh when I talk about it. I never think, I'm just like, no, one person watching this, yes, you, this is your sign to go and actually use LinkedIn to completely transform your reality.
Yeah.
It's a massive, to me, as a spiritual, I see LinkedIn as this massive golden bridge of light between all the great people and all the great people. And it just brings them together. Just let it. So I'm super into the law of attraction, but allow LinkedIn to do the work. Allow LinkedIn to take you and your skill and them and their needs and just bring it all together. It's beautiful, and it's really easy to do. 3 things to do every day. That's it. So I saw someone post it's like, oh, another platform. So there's nothing to learn on LinkedIn. It's exactly the same as all the other platforms. There's nothing special you need to learn. Everything you do on the other platforms you can do on LinkedIn. So I just copy and paste my posts over. If I write a post on Facebook and I think that's average, my content is average at best. I probably write one decent post in maybe a month.
Yeah.
A week if I'm really on fire. The rest of the time it's just average content, right? But I post all the time, every day, multiple times a day. And everything around me is content. So anything I see or anything I write on Facebook, I just copy and paste it over to LinkedIn.
I do the same.
Same thing, right? Don't use hashtags, anything like that on LinkedIn. I don't worry about what time I'm posting, about algorithms and stuff. Sometimes I use a picture, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do a poll, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do a video, sometimes I don't, right? But I just have this kind of constant content going out. But I'm only on there for 10, 15 minutes a day. I do not spend a lot of time in LinkedIn at all. If I was really researching or I was kind of at the beginning of my journey, I'd probably spend a lot more time in there just to get a feel for it. But actually, you just need to add 10 people a day, you need to post every day, and you need to do comments on other people's posts every day. That's it. Super simple.
Yeah. Now, one thing that often comes up I find it really interesting, like we have money mindset issues, we all do. And that actually has a massive impact on our ability to post and be visible, doesn't it? Somehow they seem to be really linked,
They are, yeah.
And I've learned so much from you. So we think of, writing smart articles and things like that. But what I love is that you post pictures of your cat, Tina, your daughter. You just post random thoughts that you have as well. And I've started doing that. And I've found that that's actually helped me up my Instagram and my Facebook game, as well as my LinkedIn game. But more importantly than that, in your world, you tell us what to write. Don't you tell us what type of post to post?
Yeah, I just go and post this or post that, or look. What I quite often say to clients is like, just look around you, pick something you can see and post about that. Like everything's got a story. So I'm just talking about that. And then social proof, really easy, just have them on your phone.
Yeah.
You shot and said nice, just share them as a picture. That's it. See, people say to me, like, well, what about this? What about that? What about writing really, long form content, thought leadership stuff? What about doing really nice branded content and social proof? And I was like, go for it. But I don't do that. And I've never done that. And I do all right. So I'm just going to teach what I do. And you can add any bells and whistles that you want. and you can overthink whatever you want. But honestly, I probably post between 5 and 10 times a day. And
which sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
Loads, right? But that maybe that's on Facebook. Post between 5 and 10 times on Facebook, and maybe like 4 and 6 on LinkedIn, because not everything gets posted over. But literally, there's like a million things happen to me in a day that I want to talk about. But what's interesting is the more I'm trying to dig into why is it easy for me and hard for everyone else, right? Because I don't think there's anything special about me.
Well, there's a lot special about you. I know where you're coming from.
I'm a magical being, but like I'm naturally quite lazy. I only work a couple of hours a day. Like I don't. And the one thing that I told someone the other day, and it blew their mind, was like, I never sit and write content. I never sit I'm at my big computer now in my office. The only time I'm ever here is when I'm doing a live, right? Or I'm just pretending to be working and letting someone else make tea or whatever, right? So like I do all my content on the fly. I do all my own content. They couldn't believe that. I do all my own posts. I do all my content on the fly. I do most of my posting in bed or just out the shower, outside school, wait to pick up. Or most of my content I write on my drive, sat in my car, in between wherever I've been and going into the house. And then maybe at night when I'm scrolling and I'm watching, Married at First Sight. I in the party last night. So like I very much, it comes with me. My content comes with me. It comes from me, through me, and as soon as I think it, I post it. I don't think it. I don't schedule it. I don't worry about it. If I've thought it or I've felt it or I've seen it, good enough to post. And I see content as a conversation with just one other person. I'm not writing to make all of my 13,000 on Facebook or my 38,000 on LinkedIn happy. Or like, I'm not writing to please everyone. I'm writing for one person at a time.
Yeah.
So if it lands with them, great. That's all I care about, If it doesn't land with them, fine. I'll get over it. It's I don't have any drama. I don't get involved. Like somebody commented something on one of my posts the other day and I just deleted it. This is the new me, right? If someone doesn't agree with me, that's fine. I'll just delete it.
Yeah.
I don't need to leave it there. I don't need to get involved in it. No. It was about the king. Someone was like, "Oh, Camilla, she's a manipulative cow." Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Ooh, delete.
Get that negativity off.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need to debate with you about Camilla. I'm not interested in your opinion. Like, I wasn't asking for it. I was saying how I had a great weekend, and also I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to delete the comment and delete you, and never have to deal with you again. Like, so it's the same with LinkedIn. Don't ever think you have to debate and discuss with people who don't agree with you. I wouldn't recommend it. I used to do it a lot. If everyone's followed me for a long time, I used to argue with loads of people. What's the point? Just made me feel all like stressy. So just you can delete comments, you can ignore things, you can block people. Like, don't worry, because when my rates went up to 500 quid an hour and like the 750 an hour now. And funny enough, when they went from 500 to 750, no one batted an eyelid. But when they went from 100 quid to 500 quid, like it's like the whole world was falling apart. All of these people on LinkedIn were like, "How dare you charge £500 an hour? Nurses eating at food banks, it's disgusting," and all this. I was just like, it's not, your opinion is literally none of my business.
And I love that about you. You've taught me so much about that, about like what to allow and what not to allow.
Yeah, you gotta have your own boundaries of. Yeah, it's really hard to maintain them.
Yeah.
So I commented on something on Facebook. You might have seen it. It's in the group we're both in. And then she came straight back and was like, "Don't agree with you." Blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, it's so tempting to go again.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I've given my advice. We were asked for advice. I've given my advice. You don't want to take it. That's not fine.
We don't want drama. We don't want drama.
I was myself going, "Oh, but I'm right," or like I can prove, And she was. Pretty rude. And I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is definitely being in the online space. I was in business for a long time for the online space, which I think doesn't hurt. Being in real business, I think really helps you in the online space because you can look at it a bit like really like look at, in the real world, people are out there like doing real business and making real money, and you're like, you're insane. So it can be a little bit like that, but also like a long time in the online space, I've realised that there's a lot of people who are really unhappy.
Yeah.
And it's not on me. It's not my responsibility. So
Yeah, well, I had someone that messaged me that was clearly very unhappy, and it hurt. It did hurt, and then I channeled my Helen, and I was like, block, delete. Have you done this? No. Your opinion doesn't count. I didn't say that, but that's what I was saying in my head.
It's not. It's okay. Like, and I've had people come to me and say, "I hated you when I met you." I get a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, I was quite scared of you. I didn't hate you. I was like, oh,
it's a lot, right? Because I'm super confident and I super know who I am and what I'm about, and a lot of people don't like that. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And you must get this talking about money. So when I talk about money really openly, you can physically feel it in the room. You're like, people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, I get it from my family. You know, you're obsessed with money, blah blah blah. Like, even when I came, Katie is one of my best friends. I'm a housekeeper. She came in and I said, "Oh, can you just give the office a bit of a whiz round because I've got the launch next week." So obviously part of the launch is like decluttering and tidying. And I came in and she messaged me and she's like, "Do I need a pot of money?"
Yes.
And I was like, "Yeah, it's a money."
Everyone does.
And then I was looking at all my checks and all my money stuff and all my, and I did think, I thought, God, I bet she thinks I'm obsessed with money, but it's like, I am obsessed with money. I love it. I'm obsessively in love with it, right? And it looks amazing. It's my favorite relationship, right? It's
right,
and it's wonderful and it's all encompassing and it's fantastic and I love it. And one of the best things you've ever taught me is that it's everywhere. So I look at the house and I'm like, that's just money, but it's bricks and mortar, and we could sell it and liquidate the money, and then and I really like that because, like, literally, I just sit and look and be like, oh, that's money, and that's money, and this is
everything, right? Yeah,
this is money, and it's everywhere, so it feels really omnipotent. Anyway, I can't know what I'm saying, but when people say they didn't like you when I met you, which is fine, but then a lot of people go off and then they come back,
and
they say I wasn't ready.
That's
to say. I felt the resistance and I took that as rejection. So therefore I went away from you. Now I'm back. Quite often I've been away and bought something else. And then now I feel stupid. Now I'm back. Please can you help me? And they become my best supporters, really, my best clients. And I think having real confidence in who you are is, oh, here's my dad to get the bird. Real confidence in who you are is such a superpower, because when you are on something like LinkedIn or you are putting yourself out there, oh, it's flying away.
Hey, that's good.
Paul, hi.
It's hopped off.
I know, it was been lying flat and then it stood up and now you've come, it's hopped off. I think you'll be alright.
Well, it did. The cat around, so shoot the cat off.
The cat will have it.
Oh.
What do you think? Has it gone off?
Got a bad leg when it shot off.
Has it got a bad leg? Well, it's got wings, right? Easy. Right, thanks. Well, at least it's not there, so I can't see if anything terrible happens. Thanks.
Oh no.
What?
Oh.
I love that your dad's come round to sort you out.
No, bless him. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Bye.
Bless him. Bless him.
It's a horror. Anyway, so yeah, you've got to protect that energy because, like I said, so LinkedIn particularly is full of really unhappy people, jobs that they hate and lives that they hate. You know, they're sat in the old days, they'd be sat in a cubicle, wouldn't they? Just hate. Now it's a bit different, but they're just not often happy people. So you can come up across a lot of negativity on LinkedIn, but that's okay.
You can just delete it, right?
Just delete it.
Yeah, protect your energy.
Protect your energy. Put your belly jar up. Put a mirror on it, and that's for them, not you.
Yeah. So, Helen, you have a challenge coming up, which your challenges are amazing. You basically talk through how to use LinkedIn using your method, what to post, when to post it, that type of thing. Tell us about that.
So we call it a challenge, but actually it's really just 5 days of banging free training. It's like a 5-day experience. It's like we go on holiday together for 5 weeks. And it's like, whoa, that was wild. It's really practical and tangible, but it's also got woven in there lots of like mindset stuff and pricing and money stuff. So it's really evolved actually. I've been doing it for 5 years and it's almost like the same but different.
Yeah.
The strategy's the same. And we teach you the tactics. So if you're the kind of person that's like, just tell me what to do, It's like brilliant. I literally tell you what to do every day, and every day it builds on it. If you're the kind of person that's like, you tell me what to do, but I'm not doing it, then come to the lives, because I'll be there. So the lives every night, 5 till 6, lives with wine. It's just me doing absolutely freestyle Q&A, and we can cover all kinds of topics around getting, but really it's all about getting everything lined up to make LinkedIn work for you. But it's getting yourself in the right space, because when you're in the right space and you decided who you are and what you're going to sell and what you're going to price it at, that's the work, isn't it? So spoiler alert, we do a lot of that work, and then LinkedIn becomes really easy, because it is just do 3 things a day. I've told you it already.
Yeah.
But it's like, I have to use those 5 days to get you to believe 2 things. 1, that I'm the person to trust, the process to trust, but 2, that you believe you can do it. And the thing is, you can. Everybody can. Anybody can. It's guaranteed to work if you do the work.
Yeah.
There's work to do. That's the thing. It's not super easy. It's not a magical bullet. It's not like press a button and it all happens straight away. There is work to do, but I like that about it.
Yeah.
It feels more worthwhile. Like, I'm training for my black belt at the moment, and we were talking about somebody, and if I'm going for a brown belt next, and if Craig, my instructor, said to me, you know what, just go for it, it wouldn't feel as valuable as if he said, I'm not going to put you in this time, Helen, because you need to do more sparring, you need to get your time down on your running, and you need to be able to do the skipping with the heavy rope. So it's almost like it's a discipline that I've got to do to get the result. And it's the same with LinkedIn. It's a discipline. And I've got to overcome my mindset about, I don't want to go training, I don't want to do the skipping, I don't want to, I've got to go through the mindset stuff with the kickboxing, just like you've got to go through the mindset stuff with the LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
It's the same. Like, even a woman stopped me today in kickboxing, and she's like, oh, you've been coming for ages. I was chatting to her, and she said, oh, you've been coming for ages, haven't you? I said, oh, yeah, ages and ages. I had a bit of time out to spoke before. She said, oh, you look really confident when you're doing shadow boxing, but I feel really stupid. She said, but I look at you and you look like really confident. I said, I feel really stupid when I'm doing shadow boxing, but I do it anyway. And she said, oh. I said, everybody feels stupid shadow boxing because you're not fighting anyone. So it feels a bit silly, but it's really important, right? And then she was just like, oh. And it's the same with LinkedIn. It's like, you just got to keep going to the gym, basically. You just got to keep showing up and doing the work. But some days you won't want to do your LinkedIn, just like I don't want to go to the gym. Some days it'll feel really hard and you feel like you'll have a bad day. Like, I'll have a bad session. Yeah. But you learn more from the bad sessions than you do the good, right?
You do. And also, like, the thing is, the majority of people that learn a process like this don't add in the consistency.
Yes.
And it is the consistency, the time that, if you can stick around longer than the person that you're next to, you're going to win in LinkedIn, on Facebook. I see people chopping and changing and restarting over and over, but it's learning the process. It's like my Money Magic foundations. Do the foundations over and over, do the LinkedIn stuff over and over, and your results start to go incrementally upwards.
Yeah. Same with the skipping. Honestly, I started on a little rope and I couldn't do that. And then I got good at that. And then as soon as I got good at that, it was like, here's the heavy rope. I thought, And then I've literally just been able to do the skipping with that. And he's like, now we've got to go back to the light rope to do the sprints. And I'm like, ugh. And he's like, then the heavy rope will feel easy. But it's like the discipline, and I'll talk about all this in the challenge, but I can't take anyone seriously who says to me, I haven't got time.
Yeah, I know, right? Because it's like 15-30 minutes, right?
It's like, I know, I was saying to a friend, so I can actually say now, I had a school refusing child. If anyone's ever had a school refuser, it's extremely stressful. So I was like, I would be like trying to get her into school, getting like guilt tripping all the way. We'd have like, oh, this I'd drop her off, it'd be hysterics, and then she's 15, she's not 5. I'd get back, and then the texting would start, and then I'd be crying in the car, and I'd just be like having a complete meltdown. I feel so upset, so lonely, and then I'd have to go back and get her, and then I'd come back and I'd press live and I'd do my live call.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do. It's my business, my job.
Yeah.
When people are like, oh, I'm just feeling really tired today, so I'm not posting on LinkedIn. I'm like, what? Drives me insane.
Yeah, and then those people, especially the ones that believe in the law of attraction, they sort of say, "Oh, it doesn't work," but it does work. Part of the law of attraction, part of
Yeah.
success, is taking inspired, consistent action. Like
Yeah.
that, and it's not. This is the thing. It's not big action. It's tiny, and that makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Micro actions every single day, so it just becomes automatic. When I said do that, so my launch starting next week, I've got a challenge next week, and I'm a launch after that. And we've spent a lot of money on ads this time, so I was like, oh, I can just take it easy, and I was like, I'm just going to take it easy, and I'm just going to the organic can just happen naturally rather than me really push it. And then I looked, and I'd still posted 8 times that day.
Yeah.
My taking it easy is everyone else's fifth gear, but that's because I've been doing it for so long, it's automatic.
Yeah.
And the same as when I go to the gym, I don't think about shadowboxing, I don't think about skipping, because it's automatic because of all the micro times I've done it week after week after week. And I think it's just making a decision. So I said, I had that moment in the car, I just made a decision. And I truly believe that success is a decision.
Yes, it is. It is. It's a choice. Yeah.
Choice.
Yeah.
Choice. And I'm saying this as somebody who's been extremely broke, had extremely challenging circumstances. I know it's not a competition, but you know what I mean? Like, I've had really bad things happen to me and I'm a really good person.
Yes.
But it's a decision of like, nobody's coming to save me. I'm going to get out of victim mode. I'm going to do what it takes. And I'm going to have patience. So people say to me, oh, it's all right for you, Helen, because you've got a big audience. Well,
Yeah.
that happened. But it's all right for you because people have known you for the LinkedIn person for like 5 years, so they're automatically going to buy it. So how do you think that happened?
Yeah, like there was one person that followed you at first, wasn't there? And then there was 2, and then there was 10, right?
Yeah, it's like,
You didn't just wake up with tens of thousands of followers, did you?
Yeah, like you say, oh, I put out an offer and nobody bought. And it's like, so did I last week. It happens to me all the time. Like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't get easy for you. It does get easier, obviously.
So you get better at doing the harder things, don't you?
Yeah, but they don't feel as hard because you've expanded to make it normal. First time you do a video, really hard. First time you do the steps to kickboxing, really hard. First time you get on stage, really hard. First time you do anything is out of your comfort zone. But I'm no neuroscientist, but your neural pathways, obviously. So to me, posting on social is just natural part of my day. It doesn't feel hard, doesn't feel difficult. Did it used to? Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to think I had to have a social media strategy. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
Strategy. The only social media strategy you should have is show up and be yourself every single day, relentlessly, until it starts working. And without getting emotionally attached to the results, right?
Yeah. I remember when I went into Phil's world, who you work with, and he says post 6 times a day. And I was like, oh my God, that's so much. I'm posting like maybe 6 times a week.
Yeah.
But now, because I've done that, I can post. I maybe post 6 times a day most days when I'm not launching.
It's your new normal.
Yeah. And I've learned through you to just post. It's either you or Paul that says everything's content, don't you? So you drop a cup and it's content. You actually did that, didn't you? You broke the glass and it's content. And you're walking to have your nails done and it's content. And that's really made a big shift for me. Like,
you don't write content. You live.
No, just
you are content. Life is content, and stories are like the reason why. The biggest ever reaction post I've ever had was when me and Stu got engaged. I literally said on the night, I was like, I'm going to post this, babe, and it's going to go mad. Are you going to be all right with that? And he was like, yeah. But the reason why it went so mad, it's a life event, but people have been following me for 5 years. And when I first started posting, it's because I'd had a bad breakup. And it was one of the things that I sort of did for myself was I was going to do a live every day, so I don't just cry and be sad and not do what I'm supposed to do, right? And that really kick-started my online presence, doing a live on my personal Facebook every day. And that's when I realised I run out of things to talk about LinkedIn pretty damn quick. People actually were more interested in just my day-to-day stuff. And they've seen me go on that journey of being single, making all the money, travelling the world. I've documented every step of the way. Good, bad, not the really bad stuff, because nobody wants to see me crying and all that kind of stuff, right? So, yeah, it's definitely a highlight reel, good stuff, bad stuff, challenging stuff, you know. But, you know, I'm on a journey, aren't I? So people are watching me on that journey. Social media is a TV station. You're the star of the show, so you just got to embrace it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like me and share everything. You don't have to share everything about everything, like I do, pretty much. But people have been on that journey with me and they've bought into it. So when I met Stu and they'd seen me be single, they'd seen me dating, they'd seen me, you know, all of that stuff. It's like a reality TV show. So for me to get my happy ending, everyone was just like,
Yeah.
Ages. Remember you were broke, remember you were a single mom, and all this kind of stuff. So I think just getting out your own way and thinking, why would people be interested in me? Because we're all interested in everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got a story, right? You've got a great story, so tell it. You know,
Yeah.
Start now. You don't have to. You don't have to start. You don't have to wait. Start now and talk about your journey. You know, I always can't believe the lack of people who watch me do a live and don't post about it straight away. Tag me in. And I've just watched a training by Helen Tudor. Tag me in, and it's made me feel this kind of way, right? Because it's content, isn't it?
Yeah.
One-to-one client, she said, pretty much every time we have a call, you post something about it afterwards. I'm like, yeah, because something will come up in the call.
Yeah.
Great content.
Yeah, I just realised I'm not particularly good at that. I need to up that game for sure.
Yeah, the amount of people who work with me privately, pay me thousands of pounds to work with me and don't tell anyone. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think you'd want us to tell people. I'm like, please do, because it means more people that want to work with me, and it's good for you to leverage my audience. Tomorrow, like next week, I've got a big challenge coming up, and again, one of my clients was like, I've got a challenge coming after yours, and I was like, the best thing to do is get into my challenge.
Yeah.
Because it's a natural next step for them to come and do your challenge after mine. So come in, get involved, get visible. I'll big you up, you big me up. Like, you know what I mean? You say you're working with me, I say I'm working with you, and you've got a challenge for them. Like, it's natural then.
Yeah.
I'm not saying come and pitch, because that's not what it's there for, but it blows my mind that people hold themselves back like that and not see that as an opportunity. So if you are watching this and you're enjoying it, please do.
Tag Helen. I mean.
Yeah, it's great. Like, it's great because it's more content for me.
Yeah.
And it adds more value to the stuff that Eloise is doing. So everybody wins.
Yeah.
Everybody wins. And that's what it should be like in business. The online space, it's all about everybody.
Yeah, and you definitely do that exceptionally well. You are super supportive.
Oh, thank you. That's important to me, though. It's important to me that I am super supportive, because I never talk about the online space as in the state of it, right? Because it's not something I want to bring to my door. It's not something I want to talk about. I think the whole thing's embarrassing. But I do want to instead be known for being a good person who supports other people. That's my way of kind of trying to improve things by doing rather than saying. I think saying that the online space is a viper's pit of this is easy, almost lazy marketing. Because everyone's like, yeah, it's not. But instead, I'm like, I'm just going to do things a little bit different. Yeah. Basically. And don't get me wrong, there'll be people watching this that'll be like, she's a right bitch, she was horrible to me 20
They always are. They
always are, and that's fine.
We're always the bad guy in someone's story, aren't we?
Yes, I definitely am in lots of people's stories, but again, that's the cross I've got there. Like, for all the people who love me and say I've changed their lives, there's going to be people who hate me and think I've ruined it. So you've got to take that good with the bad for sure.
So if my lovely audience would love more Helen and more LinkedIn, what's the best way to come and find you and work with you?
So if you go to helenpritchardonline.com, you can join the challenge there.
Yay! Do it, lovely. Do it.
Or if you please, what I really like to do is follow me on Facebook. So that's really where I start a lot of my stuff. So follow me on Facebook, Helen Tudor, and then follow me on LinkedIn. I'm all maxed out with connections, annoyingly. Wouldn't bother following me on anything else. I'm not very good at it. I do bits here and there. But Facebook and LinkedIn are my two. I've got a free Facebook group as well. You can get in there. It's got some free training and everything. But yeah, just follow me and you'll see all the stuff I'm doing. But the challenge is the best thing you can do for yourself, really.
You've done it before. Like, do it again.
Yeah, do it again. Yeah.
I did it about 5 times before I really set it up.
Yeah, come and do it as many times as you want. And all the challenge is made spectacular by the people that are in it. Yeah. Great challenge, but everyone's different, and every group of people that we manifest in are different. So it's just magical. So yeah, the more of you, the merrier, definitely. And come in and really get engaged and be amongst thousands of other entrepreneurs, and you just never know who needs your services either.
And just one final question from me, Helen. I know you mentioned about the petrol pump, but what's been the most significant thing opening up to have more money in your life has bought you? I mean, like, not bought you as in purchased, but what has it bought to you?
It's a feeling of peace.
Mm.
It's a feeling of peace, and there's so much joy and contentment. I recorded a podcast today and I was literally crying
Oh.
because I was like, I'm just so grateful for everything that money has brought for me. Like, so much peace, so much good times, so much happiness, like so much contentment, and the absence of fear. That's what it gives you. The absence of fear. I think you can be very happy and have no money, and I've had some great times and been absolutely broke, numbers in the bank, right? But it gives you that underlying fear and that feeling of anxiety and not knowing. Whereas having money, but mainly having a predictable, reliable income stream, which is what I obviously help people to do with their business, is an absolute gift to your peace of mind. And that's why all the bad stuff is worth it. Because opening yourself up to money is like opening yourself up to peace. And that is a gift to yourself. And sometimes I get back in the pattern, which is I like it. I like the hustle and the drama and the anxiety and the fire and all of that things, all the things that not having money gave me. Like, the passion, the determination, the decision making, all those things, super grateful. And that was the lesson. But away from that, it's like staying away from that is much more powerful. It's like a gift to yourself. So opening yourself up to money is the number one most important thing you can do, because that happens before your business, before your reality starts to change, before the opportunities start to land. So that's why I love Eloise so much, and I think the work she's doing is so important, like so crucial as we are moving into a different energy, on the planet. Everyone's called. We've all got to step up and do what we've got to do. It's important. The work's important. People need us more than ever. Post-COVID, people are crying out for support emotionally, energetically. So if you are a spiritual worker, or if you are like a light worker who does something really practical like me, you know what I mean? It's like the world needs us. So we're being called. So you've got to step up. This is the call to arms. Let's go.
Thank you so much for your valuable time today, Helen. I know people are going to be watching this on catch up. They're all very keen to see it. So any final words before we say goodbye?
Just take action. Take action. That's it. As long as you're doing something, I'm happy. Could be in completely the wrong direction. Could be completely the wrong thing. You could be doing and saying the complete wrong thing when you look back, and that's okay. But taking action. Please don't stay stuck, because your mission is more important than your mindset in the moment. So take action, do the things, even if it feels uncomfortable, and just go for it. Because I believe in you. Eloise believes in you. Like, we've done it. You can do it. We can all do it together. Let's go.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Helen. Really appreciate that. So we're going to say goodbye and have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you're doing. If you're watching on catch up, drop us a hashtag replay and we will be checking the comments. So have a great one.